Hello everyone, welcome back to Hero Wars Guide. We just got the game data update for Winterfest and all of its associated events and new additions to game data, all that. So I'm going to go through that here. Most of it is going to be centered on the event schedule, but there are just a couple of game data updates that I want to call out as well. So diving right into the schedule here, you can see alongside of the normal Winterfest events, we're going to have a couple of extra ones here beyond the normal waiting for the holiday every day. And the first one here is specifically for the new hero Kayla. We're going to have her Ascension event. And some of the task descriptions here are a little weird because they're a different format. There's some brand new types of tasks that I actually announced were going to be added a few weeks or maybe a month ago that they added just for this purpose, it looks like. And my reader is not yet fully up to speed on how to parse those out. But I'll talk a little bit through these. You can see here the first one, this is for summoning Kayla and leveling her up to evolution levels, all the way up to absolute star. So in the first week, that might be a little bit tough. You might have to do some heavy gift giving in order to get there, assuming that her souls are the ones that come out of the gift exchange, and I'm not certain of that at this point. And then you can see that the next one is for promoting the hero to X rank. To be clear here, this is referring to the color ranking of the hero, so these numbers are not very useful for you, but these are colors all the way up to red at the very end. So it's going to be very difficult to close that one out. Very expensive. But this one is specifically dealing with those color levels. And then here we have getting her up to a Gift of Elements level. The way that this task is worded in the game data makes me think that it is reaching that level, not gaining a certain number of levels. Sometimes with Gift of the Element tasks, you can charge it up and then reset it all at level 1 and not really lose any sparks. But in this case, it looks like you do have to hit that watermark of 25 levels. So you're gonna, I don't know if you want to keep the Gift of the Elements in her long term, but you'll have to spend the sparks, or spend the gold and temporarily at least put some sparks into Kayla to close out this task. Or at least it doesn't go up to 30, but 25 is most of the way there. And then there's likely the easiest one here for just getting her up to certain levels. And 50 is a pretty easy target there. At least, if you've been playing for a while, you probably have more hero experience than you could possibly put in any number of heroes that they release. So that one should be pretty easy. This task here is just for hitting the milestones in all of the other tasks, so this one will complete for you as you move along in the others. Here we have getting an artifact up pretty high level for her. 80 is going to be pretty hard to hit unless you have kind of a backlog there to spend. I don't know if it does add this up across artifacts. That might actually be pretty easy because, again, if you've been around a while, odds are you have thousands of the white ones that are not really doing much of anything for you, and you could get each of the 3 artifacts up to 25. That gets you almost all the way there using just the white levels. But I'm not certain whether it will add them up or if you need to hit 80 with just one of them. Here we have this skills leveling up to 300. That's just gold, so assuming you level her up to at least 75, or a little bit more, I suppose, because the blue and purple skills are a little behind. But if you get her up to pretty high level and then get skills up to a combined 300, then this one will be closed out. So this one's just based on gold. And then here we have the glyphs, the enchantment rune glyphs, getting up to level 80 across all of them. So I think that would be 16 levels per each of the 5 glyphs if you're trying to do it with a minimal glyph investment. Those early levels don't cost much, so this one shouldn't really break the bank. All right, so that looks like the format of the event for these new Hero Ascension events. And then here we're going to start getting into the traditional Winterfest events. So we have Waiting for the holiday. This is week 1 of Winterfest. It's going to go live tonight here on web in the Western Hemisphere. And these are the same tasks that we have seen in previous years. The one exception is this tower chest is new. That's going to replace a task that used to be there for promoting the hero color of the Winterfest event. But since we have that whole separate event for developing Kayla, it looks like they took that out and put tower chests in instead. So hopefully you've held off on the tower for today, which you may have done for the holiday everyday task, because it looks like that's going to double up into this one, and you will need that 8th day to complete this for free. So if you've already done the tower, you maybe can still get here by opening a total of 15 chests across the week. And then a small number of the milestones have changed, not in a drastic sort of way, but this spending Winterfest coins on gifts. There was a milestone for 325 last time, so they did make small adjustments to some of the milestones, but by and large it's the same. So moving on to the next. So after this first week ends, then we're going to get a second Ascension event, and this one's going to be for Aiden. I won't spend much time on this because, as you may notice here, these tasks are exactly the same. The only difference is that all of these hero development requirements are going to apply to Aiden in the second week, like they did for Kayla in the first. The holiday everyday, this is going to run for all 14 days of the event. So this will be here the first week and the second week. And all of the tasks here you can see are daily tasks, meaning they reset every single day. And there's a handful here for sending the gifts. These do look the same as they were last time around. The most rewarding one out of this whole chain is going to be the completing all of the others. And you can see here that counts up to 24. And that means you have to complete almost all of them every day in order to knock this thing out. I believe, not counting this milestone itself, the 24 quest requirement, there are 25 others. So really that only leaves room for you to miss one of all of these others. So opening 25 souls per day is going to get to be pretty expensive by the end of this thing. And then sending some of these gifts, the larger ones, are quite expensive as well. Probably by the end you'll be skipping the skins, maybe some of these others. I don't know the drop rates for any of these gifts, and they were just changed, so I can't speak yet to how valuable they are. We did get a preview in the live stream that you will be able to see all of the possible gifts with a hover over or click in. You can see the menu of everything that will be available in these gifts, which is nice. But odds are they're not all at the same drop rates. Some will occur more regularly than others. So it remains to be seen what the value is per gift. But anyway, if you want to get the most out of this event, you do have to get almost all of the other things completed in order to hit the final milestone here. All right, and then we have lastly the second week of the Winterfest event. This is the Winter Tale special event. And this will kick in as soon as the other one finishes and last through the end of this thing. These tasks are a little different than they were last year. You can see login at the top is the same as before, but there was a VIP level reward last time that's taken out. Spend emeralds is the same, and the same target of 90k. You have opening the artifact chests, which is the same as it was last year. Spending energy is the same. Adventure chests is the same, but then, and spending money is the same. But then the two that are different are these ranking tasks, where you get a certain position in the ranking for the number of gifts sent or received. And these two actually go together. It's just they applied a slightly different wording for the first position. And this is the sort of thing where you don't have to capture and hold it, but if you ever hit these ranks, then you will complete these tasks. It's not 100% clear to me whether it will retroactively apply any ranks that you may have had during the first week. If it does, you may want to try to be online right at the first minute of Winterfest and send a couple gifts as soon as this thing launches. And then, kind of just by virtue of you being first, you'll be in first position in the opening minute of the first event, and then you would get this credit for this event, for this task. But I just don't know if it will reach before the start of this event specifically, which is the second week of Winterfest. It looks like, when this thing starts, maybe is going to be a time where you want to hit your high point in the ranking. Like I said, if you're going to send any gifts at all on day one, you try to do it as soon as the event goes live, and maybe you'll get whatever this reward turns out to be. All right, and then I promised there were a couple of game data issues. I'm not going to scroll through all the text on that, but I can just tell you that it looks like they're building in the exchange of the Titan totem summoning sphere. They're building that into the game, so you'll be able to exchange it yourself rather than reaching out to support. This seemed like an obvious move. I was surprised they didn't implement this back before when those purchase options were available. I think they claimed that support not being able to field all the requests was part of the reason why they didn't provide one of the offers to people who had already closed out the traditional 18 totems, which was kind of bogus in my opinion. But in any case, it looks like they are finally building this automated exchange into the game. So you'll be able to turn that around on demand rather than having to wait for their support team. And then the only other note was it looks like that some of the bundles launching include 2 entries for the description that's used by the 4X Emerald sale. They are not tied to any particular dates as far as I can see, but I know we tend to get a one-day sale kind of at the end of the year. That may even be after Winterfest concludes. Like on New Year's Eve or something. They may want to catch people full of champagne and willing to spend. But I think we get a one-day sale at the end of the year, and there may also be a second one during part of Winterfest itself. Can't give you the exact dates there, but those are just my guesses. All right, hope this helps you guys plan for the events going live tonight. Hope you do well in Winterfest, and I'll talk to you again soon.